We also talked about the sovereignty bill, which we condemn. Its contents are contrary to the provisions of the Constitution, and it is likely to curtail lots of activities of the kingdom if it is passed in its current form. So those are some of the matters that we talked about during the State of the Kingdom address.
Ask the government about corruption.
Oh yeah, we condemn corruption, and the resolution has been passed by the Luchiko, calling upon me to engage with the government to ensure that corruption is fought and stamped out. And the important thing is to punish those. The corrupt people should be arrested, they should be prosecuted, they should be made to pay what they've stolen from the government. And they should be held in jail for a considerable period to ensure that there is a deterrent effect when that happens. Yeah. I gave the State of the Kingdom address. That's an address made once a year to generally inform the members of the Luchiko and the kingdom generally about the happenings in the kingdom. We owe it to the public, the people in Uganda, to know the activities that we've undertaken in a given Luchiko year. And then after that address, they react by making different suggestions, giving us ideas in order to ensure that the people are well served. My address today was premised on the 6 elements which are part of the new program called Stulo Mutindo. That program was launched in February this year. Stulo Mutindo is about productivity, how we go about our work. But the 6 areas are health, education, agriculture, commerce and industry, the state of the homesteads within the homes. We think it's very, very important. And the state of the homesteads here means that people have the basic necessities, enough food, enough water, acceptable levels of hygiene. And then the last element is identification and promotion of talent. So my address on the State of the Kingdom has rotated around those 6 elements. But I also talked about other matters of national interest. For example, the number of people in detention following the elections we had in January. Many people are still in detention. Many people haven't been tried. We think that they should be released, especially those who are arrested on matters related to the election process. But those who have got to be tried should be brought before the courts of law. And they are tried or they are granted bail. We also condemned the practice of abducting people in the infamous drones. That's reminiscent of the days of Idi Amin, when people would be abducted and carried away in the boots of vehicles, or during the days of Obote II, during Operation Pandagari. It is very, very disheartening that abduction of people still takes place today. So we believe that as the president starts his new term, those practices which we have witnessed since the year began, actually since the election processes, the campaign started, should be abandoned. Because we want harmony. Without harmony and peace, there will be no development, because nobody is going to invest in a country where tension is evident. So we call upon government to pay up, because, a A number of government agencies operate in government installations. They owe us money in rent, but they also owe us money in outright compensation for a number of properties which we call upon government to pay. They paid some money last financial year. We call upon them to pay more even this financial year.
Effective construction of roads in some areas and other
Well,
areas.
we commend government for the construction of roads. A number of roads have been constructed, and many of the roads are being constructed right now, which is commendable. But we think that the focus should be on roads which lead to densely populated areas with significant economic activities. There are some roads that have been built where the populations are very, very small and there are no significant economic activities. We think the priority for roads should be in those areas which are densely populated and where there are significant economic activities. So, look, first of all, cities must be properly organized. We cannot stay in cities and towns where every person erects a stall or an area where he carries on his or her trade wherever that person pleases. There must be order in the towns. But having said that, it's important that places are identified where stalls can be erected, because the small income earners need to have some places where they operate from so that they get some sustenance. And also, if these small income earners are well organized, if the stalls are well organized, they can even be licensed. We can ensure proper hygiene, and they can even be a source of attraction to tourists. If you organized the fruit vendors along Entebbe Road, for example, the stalls are standardized, the way they are constructed and the way they are laid along the road. If they are standardized, and the operators of these stalls are given aprons, for example, they are operating in a clean environment, those fresh fruits, you can't find them in Europe and America. And many tourists will be attracted to stand by these stalls, get some fresh fruit from Ugandan soil, ensure that the vendors get some money, but in an organized and clean environment. All these things can be done. And that's where we urge government to focus.